I think there was a tongue out. I think he was like, bleh. All right, it's Sunday and the first thing on my list is to finish all of the cactus repotting, but really, I don't think that I'm gonna be able to get all that done. It looks like it's about to rain like any second and it feels so gross outside. Really, I want to repot pretty much every plant I have. I read a lot about when plants get root bound, which is something I knew was a thing, but I didn't know a lot about it and I didn't know what you could do to help them. And now I'm kind of second guessing some of the things that I did yesterday when I was planting all my little cactus babies. But I kind of feel like what's done is done, and just going forward, I'm gonna do better, because I kind of feel like there's a high likelihood that many of my indoor plants are root bound, and I want to fix that and I want to help them. I want to save them. I feel like a very bad mom right now. But there's one plant that I am going to do today because I've been talking about doing it forever, and it's my peace lily. I have been through it all with these peace lilies. I have treated them so many times for mites, or what are they called? Mealy bugs. It was like the most disgusting thing in the world, and I definitely documented that whole situation either in vlogs or on my stories. They just give me the heebie-jeebies. They're like little white fuzzy. Like if you take a very close video or photo, you can see that they're bugs and you can actually see them moving, and it's absolutely disgusting. So I went through it all with this, and I have saved it from the brink, but I owe it a new home, and I've had this bigger pot for a while with the intentions to repot it. I kind of want to paint the bottom of this pot, but I don't know, we'll just see. Okay, so this is the peace lily I've been telling you about. It's obviously way too big for this tiny pot. I know it'd be so much happier in a bigger pot. It flowers pretty frequently, which makes me so happy, because I've heard that it's kind of hard to get them to flower. I can't get it out. Whoa, oh my gosh. Have you ever seen a more root bound plant in your life? Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. Oh, this poor plant. Okay, it's like impossible to break up with your hands. So the article that I read said you just kind of have to be rough with it and break up those roots, and it's okay if you break some roots. I thought before, thou shalt not break roots no matter what, but ultimately if you're in a situation like this, breaking roots will actually help it more than it will hurt it. I don't know, I'm sure some of you guys are experts out there and you guys have a lot of tips for me, so feel free to share them down below because I have a lot to learn, obviously. Okay, I think I've untangled a lot of the roots. I got a lot of that craziness that was on the bottom off. Hopefully it will all be for the best in the end. We'll just have to see what happens. Okay, I think you can finally see me and hopefully you can hear me too. That would be just amazing. So, speaking of me being a bad mom, or a bad plant mom, Willie, honestly, I don't even want to say I'm a bad plant mom. I'm trying my best. I'm learning as I go, and I'm very determined at this point. I'm gonna get a lot of new pots. I'm keeping them all alive. I'm still happy about that. I'm still seeing that as a very good step in the right direction. Anyway, that segue was not supposed to go like that, but speaking of me being a bad mom, I told you guys that I was going to talk to you about IUI. So I talked about it not in the Disney vlog, the Disneyland vlog, the last one that came out, but the one before that where I gave my fertility update. And Grant and I have been talking about trying IUI for a long time. I've been seeing a fertility doctor here in Dallas for a long time, and we've really just been like tracking and monitoring everything and doing a lot of tests along the way, and we were just kind of working up to it, and there are really a lot of different factors that kept us back from doing IUI sooner, but now felt like the right time, especially after what happened in December. I don't know exactly why, but I just felt a whole new motivation to like just go for it, you know? So this was the month to go for it. And just to briefly explain, if you've never heard of IUI before or you didn't watch that vlog, there are a few different ways that IUI can happen, but the way that we did it was you wait a couple of days into your cycle and then you take a drug that kind of supercharges your ovulation. I took letrozole the week before we went to Disneyland, so you take it for 5 days. And for me, the first couple of days, I felt like I was having some side effects. Like I felt just kind of generally off. One day I felt really kind of nauseous. And then the last 3 days, nothing. I felt fine. Throughout, I had hot flashes, which was such a weird feeling because I've never had that before, but I knew that was a side effect that could happen with letrozole. And really, it wasn't that bad. It was just like a weird sensation because suddenly I'd be just like in the living room or something, and it's not super hot in our house. It's cold outside, or at least it's been cold. And suddenly I'd be doing something and it's just like, oh, it's so hot in here, right? And like Grant would be like, no, it's actually not hot in here. And I'd be like, oh, okay. Like it never fully clicked, like, oh, this is what's happening to me. I would just be like, why is it so hot in here? And just basically had no grasp on the fact that that's what it was. So really, that was not that bad, and it was always like really short. And then after that, of course, we went to Disneyland. We had a great time. I was a little bit concerned that going to Disneyland and doing all that walking and kind of stressing my body out would be bad for the whole IUI cycle. And obviously I can't really judge at this point if that did have a bad effect, and really I probably won't ever really be able to know if that had an effect on anything. But it was just one of the things I was kind of concerned about, because I feel like once you get to this place, you're kind of like analyzing everything. And I do my best not to overanalyze or overthink or stress out about it, because I know that's not good for the process. But once you're in this situation and you've done all these different things that you do have to consciously think about and you do have to focus on, and you can't just let it slide and like go with the flow, because things aren't happening naturally. It's something that I'm always kind of torn about, because like, yeah, I do wake up at the same time every morning to do my temperature. I do take my ovasitol twice a day. I do go to the doctor like at least once a week, if not more. Like it's, you know, it's a lot. It's not something that's just like easy peasy, go with the flow, you know, like don't think about it. But even still, I try not to stress about it, you know, just like go with the flow, even though there are more things that I do daily that are fertility focused, you know what I mean? Anyway, so we go to Disneyland. I was a little bit concerned, but ultimately we talked about it. We went back and forth a lot of times and we decided, let's just go, let's have a good time. It's just for a couple of days. And once we came back, I was tracking my ovulation, and I was doing it at home. You can also go in and have ultrasounds every day, and they can track whenever you're going to ovulate. And once you get either a positive ovulation test at home, or they see that your follicles are at the right point during an ultrasound, you then do the IUI process. And that actually came earlier than I expected it, or earlier than the doctor predicted it. One of the things that I talked to you guys about in that fertility update vlog was that we were focusing on only doing the IUI if I was ovulating from the right side, because when we did a test a couple of months ago, it looked like the left side was kind of iffy. It's not blocked. Really, the doctor didn't know exactly what was going on with it, and so she just didn't feel like fully confident in it. Like, let's not like put all our chips on the left side, basically. So what was kind of weird is once we came back from Disney and I went in for an ultrasound so they could track where my follicles were at and to see which side was going to be ovulating, which was kind of like the deciding factor on whether we were going to go forward with the IUI or not. It actually ended up that I was ovulating from both sides, and I was kind of like, what does that mean? And I was talking to the technician that was doing the ultrasound, and she's super, super friendly, and I'm always really happy whenever I get to do my ultrasounds with her, because she actually gives me some information. And obviously she can't give me like the full analysis that the doctor's going to give me, but she does give me a little information along the way, which is really helpful. So ovulating from both sides, I wait until later in the day. The doctor calls me back and she tells me that that's totally fine. We should go ahead with the IUI. If it was only the left side, then we wouldn't do it, but since it's both, we can go ahead and do it. Okay, I'm realizing now I kind of told this story out of order. Hopefully it's not difficult to follow, but we ended up going ahead with the IUI last week, and obviously it's my first time trying anything like that. And what's kind of interesting about the IUI is you can try it over and over and over again. It's a pretty simple process. You take the medicine and then they do the IUI in the office. It was totally painless. It was super quick. It was like no big deal, basically. It was really no big deal. If you've never done one and you think you might have to do one in the future, like, do not sweat it. It's no big deal, or at least that's how it was for me. Like, she even said like, oh, you might have like a little bit of cramping. Literally nothing. No cramping, no nothing. It was just like easy breezy, amazing. 10 out of 10, would recommend, like I said before. So what is interesting about IUI is you can do it several times and your odds of success actually go up every time you do it, and then they kind of peak at like 3 or 4 times. So your success is here, it goes up, it goes up, it goes up, and it kind of stays the same around 3 and 4, and then for 5 and 6 I think it drops. And I think I've heard in the past, like obviously different doctors have different ideas, but I've heard that 6 is kind of like the cutoff. Like if it doesn't work for you after 6 times, it's probably a good time to just move on to IVF. So it's not something that is like a guaranteed it's gonna work on the first time. I mean, like obviously they can't promise that, but the more times you do it, the better your odds are to have a successful pregnancy. So trying not to get my hopes up, but obviously my hopes are up. Like it's a balancing act. I'm kind of conflicted because I don't want to keep my hopes down. I want to think positively and I want to like be ready for this. But at the same time, my natural instinct is to not get my hopes up at all because I don't want to be disappointed. And that's another thing that almost like rolls into like talking to you guys about this, like the whole, okay, my camera died at the worst possible time. Okay, so I think what I was trying to say was I'm so happy to actually be taking you guys along the whole process. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys are not interested in this stuff, and if that's the case, I'm sorry, but basically that's just what's going on in my life right now. And since I share my life, that's the story, that's what's happening. And you know, in the past, I think I would have been much more hesitant to like be on my story the day before getting an IUI and telling you guys about that and being like, pray for us, you know, think a happy thought, eat a cookie, like all of that stuff. Like I would be much more hesitant to share that just because I would be nervous about having to share the disappointment if there was disappointment, because I feel like having to share it makes it more real and would like add to the disappointment. And I don't want, it's just such a complicated thing, and it's definitely not anything that you guys are doing at all, but it's just something internal with me. But at the same time, I feel like I really learned something from what happened in December. You know, I got that positive test and then it didn't work out, and it was this whole painful process. And going through that, I wanted to talk to you guys about it. So why shouldn't I share from the beginning? You know, I'm gonna get the IUI tomorrow and share along the way and be open about it, because inevitably if something doesn't work out and I'm hurting or I'm going through something painful, you know, I'm not gonna wanna come on here and like do a vlog and pretend like it's not happening, which is exactly what happened before. I mean, that wasn't something that I was like hiding from you guys. It like all happened pretty much right before I was starting the vlog that weekend. And you know, that's just what was happening to me, and I wanted to share it because that's my real life at the moment. And I know that, you know, if this is not successful or if we go through some troubles in the future or something like that, I'm gonna want to share that. So why not share along the way? Because a disappointment could come, it could not come, but either way, it doesn't lessen the disappointment to not share along the way. Do you know what I mean? I'm probably over explaining this, but this is just something that I've thought about a lot, because I just feel like sharing this process, sharing this like really like vulnerable side of me, it's like just a tender story, you know. It's just something that is very delicate. I mean, I've handled it with care, and I've been really careful about what I've shared, not wanting to share too much and just wanting to protect myself and stuff. But I do feel like I learned a lot with what happened in December, and that's why I've kind of gone about this IUI process a little bit different. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. Basically, going back to that IUI, at this point, there's nothing I can do. that I know of. The doctor didn't tell me there was anything I can do. I have looked up some stuff online. Again, trying not to stress over it, trying to, you know, just take it easy, see what happens, because all we can do is wait and then take a pregnancy test and see if it works. Right now I am on progesterone. If you are pregnant, it helps the pregnancy grow. It helps it be healthy, basically. That's not a doctor over here. I am not using any of the right words, but that is my understanding of it. And if your progesterone level is not elevated to the point that it needs to be, then you're not going to be able to hang on to that pregnancy. And in the past, when we've done my natural cycles and done all the testing along the way, like pretty much every month I would do a progesterone test to see if it was elevated to the point that it needed to be. And I think 2 months out of all of the months that we've done, it was not where it needed to be. So I had to supplement with progesterone. And since we were doing the IUI and considering the history, she said just go ahead and start progesterone, and we weren't going to wait, which I'm really, really glad that we are doing that, because that was a big concern that I had in December. So that's all I'm doing. We're just waiting and seeing, and that's the situation so far. That's my update. I don't know. I really appreciate you guys supporting me and being there for me and crossing your fingers and praying and thinking happy thoughts and eating cookies. Like, it means a lot to me. And obviously, like, there's just like not a lot we can do, but I'm happy to share with you guys, and I'm really happy to always like hear your stories. And I love hearing success stories, and I love hearing that some of you guys have been in the same place as me, or maybe you know somebody or whatever. It just means a lot to me. And I feel like I'm rambling way too long about this, but I wanted to update you guys because I've been talking about it on my story, and on your story, like, there's only so much you can say. And I also feel like it's kind of like a nothing communication format because it just disappears. And I would rather talk more and more seriously about things in videos and vlogs, because this will be here longer and you could always come back to it or pause it or whatever. But like, if you miss it, you miss it on a story, you know. I think we are about to go to West Elm because we have a runner rug that we ordered way back. I believe it was on Black Friday, like the day we made so many bad choices. This runner rug that we ordered is way too long for the space, and so we're gonna return that. And then I think we might make another stop. I'm not really sure what we're gonna do, but Grant has been studying for a lot of today, and I think he's ready for a break. So I got changed, I'm ready to go. I've done my update. Oh, and later I'm gonna make some Valentine's recipes, so I'm very happy about that. Yeah, I'm thinking, I got my eye on these. I think I'm gonna swipe them. You think that's gonna fit in the car? All right, this is our big runner rug. Hopefully they take it back. Okay, these are amazing. Oh yes, this is so perfect. Oh, why don't I break it? Ooh, and look at these. Yes, this is what I've been looking for. It's not raining, but it might as well be. It's disgusting outside. It's 73 and it's just like warm and disgusting.
Moist.
It's moist out there.
It's a little moist on you.
Grant gets a lot of pleasure out of saying things that he thinks will bother me, like moist or like...
It's the best adjective for the situation.
It's clammy. Clammy. Okay, so we're done. We're done at West Elm. We had some success with some plant pots and these little dried whatever they are. This is what I was looking for at Michael's. Totally struck out. I settled for some questionable options, just trying to make it work, and now I don't know, I might even like take that step back. Right now we're headed to CB2 because we need some curtains real bad in our bedroom. Right now we have just like those like stick up temporary blinds. So they're having the curtain sale here, and they're having a lighting sale at Jonathan Adler, which is like out of our price range. Actually, we know that it's out of our price range, but there's one little area, one little sconce that we want to replace, and we kind of think, I don't know, maybe we'd splurge if it was the right thing.
Yeah, well, we're having a hard time finding cool sconces. Yeah. Comment below with your cool sconce connect. Who's your cool sconce guy? Cool sconce plug.
I never saw this being my life, cool
Well,
sconces.
like you said about all the changes that are happening in your life.
That's true. That's true.
Sconce shopping on a Sunday.
I'm not against it. I'm having the time of my life. When we were in the checkout line at West Elm, I was like, I'm so happy. I love shopping with you because he likes the same stuff that I do. Yeah. And like he'll point out things that I missed and I'm like, oh wow, that is the coolest thing. I would feel really sad if he like didn't care what the house looked like at all and it was just me doing it. It'd probably never get done.
Yeah, it'd be hard to do that.
It definitely motivates me a lot that we can make these decisions together.
Motivation key.
That's what I need. I love this pink marble and this pink marble over here. Oh yeah, that's really awesome. Whoa, look at that rainbow one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is so 80s, isn't it? And we haven't seen this here before. I swear, the 80s are fully back. Aha. I'm on a quest at this point. Every time I see this chair, I fall in love more and more. It's like a cheese grater. Okay, we're home. We stayed out longer than I thought we would. We actually went to Home Depot after everything. I'm gonna show you everything that we got from West Elm and CB2 in a minute, but Grant is heating up leftovers for us to have dinner. But right now, I want to go through this cabinet like a tornado and put all of this stuff up because it's just crazy clutter that doesn't need to be there at all. It's all vases and extra pots that I don't have plants for right now. Just having it here makes the whole kitchen, living room, and dining room, like the entire downstairs, feel so cluttered. So I'm gonna do this as fast as I can before dinner, and then I'll show you everything that we got. And then it's Valentine's dessert time. Are you ready for Valentine's desserts?
Oh yeah.
That red velvet?
Oh yeah.
Grant had a really bad reaction when I suggested red velvet. He was on the phone with, I don't know, like a cable person or something. So he was like trying to respond to me, but he was on the phone and I was like, do you like red velvet? And do the face that you did. I think there was a tongue out. I think he was like, not a fan. And I was like, wait, have you ever had red velvet? And he was like, yeah, it's like berry, right? No, it's not berry. Update, I'm doing it anyway. I'm doing 2 different Valentine's desserts. I'm wasting time right now. I just need to start and I'll show you in a minute. So much better. And I think our leftovers are just about ready. And the salad, ooh, I am a lucky girl. Are you a lucky girl too? Maybe very, very lucky. Okay, we're done with dinner and I'm gonna start my Valentine's dessert. There has been a little bit of a speed bump, unfortunately. I was gonna do 1 recipe for bars and 1 recipe for cookies, and I realized that I don't have enough Valentine's M&Ms because they're incorporated in both of my Valentine's recipes. I don't really know what got into me. I was just getting together the groceries for last week, and I was just like, I wanna make something special for Valentine's Day, but I didn't wanna make it like on Valentine's Day. Because ultimately we're probably just gonna eat some of them and then Grant will just take them to work. Like we're not gonna eat all of these desserts just ourselves. I don't know, maybe it depends on how good they are. Probably not though. Anyway, so I'm gonna wait on the red velvet one just because I'm kind of guessing that Grant's not gonna like that one as much. And I'll probably just like make those on my story or something, maybe tomorrow or the next day or something. But ultimately it's okay, we only really need 1 dessert for right now. I mean, 2 desserts was kind of crazy. So tonight I'm gonna be making some magic cookie bars. Actually, what did they call them? I found this recipe on Pinterest and they call them the M&M Easter cookie bars. So they're a lot like magic cookie bars, except they have M&Ms, and instead of Easter M&Ms, like the Easter colors, I just subbed in Valentine's colors. I made them Valentine's myself. I'm just, you know, a cooking genius like that. And if you guys have been watching the vlogs, you know my mom makes magic cookie bars. I feel like you can make them a whole bunch of different ways. This is different than my mom's recipe that she usually does because it incorporates quick cook oats and butterscotch morsels. I'm not adding coconut or pecans. I might add some pecans maybe. Should I add pecans?
Sure.
I'm gonna add some pecans. This is gonna be super easy. If you've never had magic cookie bars before, I highly recommend them. But this specific recipe, I've never tried it before, but we're gonna try it right now together and we'll see if it's worth it. There really aren't a ton of ingredients and I measured out almost all of them ahead. I'll link the recipe in the description if you're curious. Cookie bars are in the oven. We're gonna do this haul. Okay, we've got CB2 and we've got West Elm. Really, I didn't get that many things, so this is gonna take that long, but I found some exciting things, some things I really needed. I'm so glad we ended up going. I was kind of fighting it. I was like, I don't really want to go to all these places today, but Grant really wanted to go, and I'm glad we went because I found good stuff that I was looking for at Michael's, and Michael's did not deliver in any way, shape, or form. And so these two dried, honestly, I don't know what they are, but they are dried and they are fluffy and they are gorgeous, and you probably can't see them very well. Let's look at CB2. Oh, we got like nothing. So first I got those light bulbs that are in the palm tree lamp for my palm tree lamp. I'm very excited. These will look way better than the ones that I have in there right now. They have kind of like a pattern etched into the glass and they look really cool even whenever the lamp is turned off. So we got these, and then I just recently decided we need some new hooks for our master bathroom, and we saw these and they're just totally perfect. They're matte black, which matches all the other hardware in the master bathroom. Okay, CB2 done. Let's talk about West Elm. I got some candles. I don't think I ever thought I'd see the day where I got long tapered candles like these, but it had to happen today. So I found this crazy candle holder in the clearance section, and I kind of debated about it. I probably should have debated about it a little bit more. Grant did not deter me whatsoever, and I got it. It's a palm tree long candle holder. It's crazy, I know. But it was on clearance, and I don't know, it's just like really unique. Falling over, great. If I fell over on my palm tree candle holder and died, this could definitely be used as a weapon. It's like kind of heavy. Is this crazy? Yes, absolutely. Do I love it? Also, yes. And then over in this bigger bag, I got a couple of planters. So I got this one. It's just like matte black. It will go anywhere. Are you getting in there, Liv? And this one comes with a little drain tray, so I'm really happy. And then I got two more. Okay, and then I also got two of these. Again, they have a little drain tray and a hole in the bottom. And they're kind of small, but they will be really good for two of the cactus that I need to replant. It's just like a matte black, and it's a really cool shape. These also come in white, and I wanted to get two black and two white. I'm gonna see how they work with the plants that I wanna put in these. And if I really like them, then I'll go back and get the white, but if not, it was a sign, you know. I can find a sign almost anytime. Okay, I'm hoping you can see it. It might not be focusing on it, but it's a really cool shape. I think it's very cool and kind of like 80s. I am convinced that the 80s are back. There are so many elements that I'm seeing out in the stores that I see in my like vintage 80s home decor design Instagram accounts that I follow, and nothing could make me happier. This right here, would you say this is 70s or 80s? I don't know. This is timeless. Timeless. So that's everything that we got. I don't think I've actually showed the coffee table on the vlog. I've showed it on my stories. It's a 70s travertine coffee table. It is a big square with a big square base, and it is crazy heavy, and I am in love with it. I could not be happier with this coffee table. Like, I'm so happy. Okay, haul over. Are you so sleepy, Looney Beach? Here we go. It smells so good. Okay, we've been watching our show for a little while, The Outsider, and I think they're finally cool enough to try, and I got to use my little dessert plates that I never get to use. So that's why it's being documented.
It's amazing.
Is it really gooey?
Mm-hmm.
That is intense. So I'm not like a glass of milk kind of person, but I feel like you need a glass of milk with this. Okay, so I think I have chocolate on my mouth right now, but I think I'd give it like a 4.9 out of 5.
I give it a 6.
It's really good. It's really, really intense. If you don't like chocolate, you're definitely not gonna like this. But if you like chocolate, and I mean, you saw, it is like the easiest thing to make ever. It only took 25 minutes in the oven. I would definitely recommend it. It's definitely a good, easy thing to do for Valentine's Day. Really any holiday, or even no holiday if you just use regular M&Ms. You could probably even use less M&Ms than the recipe calls for, because it's just like a lot of chocolate. It's almost overwhelming. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you want to keep up with new vlogs going forward, definitely subscribe to the channel and come back every week. I appreciate you guys being here. I love reading your comments. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Thanks. I love you. Bye.